Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new Halacha 4 units for Friday, the 9th of September, 6th day of Elul. Here we go. If it so happens that for whatever reason you are called upon to blow shofar for somebody else on the day of Rosh Hashana, I want to tell you a couple of quick laws that you need to know so that you will get that right. Number one, if you're picking a shofar to use to blow on Rosh Hashanah, then it's best to pick a shofar besides all the other characteristics of coming from a kosher animal and being the proper species and all that, which I guess in a good kosher shofar store they're not going to sell you the wrong thing, but it should have a bend in it. Lichatchila, at first we try to get a shofar that is bent, at least like one curve in it, and that's better. If you have to use a straight one, you could, but a bent one is better. The minimum length of the shofar they're using should be 1 tefach. That's about 3.5 to 4 inches, enough to stick out from your hand on each side when you're holding it up to blow. And if you're not so good at blowing the shofar, make certain that it's like the tekiah should just be one straight sound, and the shvarim should be do do do, like that. I can't describe all those, but what I am here to say about the sound is that any sound is considered proper. If your shofar makes a very deep sound or a very high-pitched sound, that's okay. There's no law about that specifically. There is a law that the tekiah should be one straight sound and not all broken up, but it won't matter to us if it's very high-pitched or very low-pitched as long as it's the sound of a shofar. But it has to be the sound of the shofar. So if somebody strangely decided to paint the shofar, plate it with silver or gold or whatever, and that changes the sound of the shofar because it's going to vibrate differently now, that's not allowed. It has to be just shofar. Sometimes it happens that something's engraved on the shofar. Well, that's more okay because that's just the shofar itself. Just with a scratch in it, that's okay. But we can't have the sound of the shofar changing based on the plating of the gold or silver or whatever somebody did to that shofar. Don't do that to a shofar. You're not allowed to do any violation of any rabbanan law, any rabbi's law to get a shofar. So let's say your shofar, you're going to have to violate a rabbinic command on Rosh Hashana, like handle muktzah, in order to get the shofar. You're not supposed to do that. You can't just say, well, the shul needs the shofar, so I'll do anything. I mean, you should have arranged that before, but you're not allowed to violate any rabbinic laws in order to get yourself that shofar, like get the shofar from outside of the Techum area. We won't go into what that means, but certain areas you're not allowed to go past if it's rabbinically, so you can't violate that in order to go get yourself a shofar. One that you would be allowed to violate is you could tell a non-Jew to violate a rabbinic command to go get you the shofar. So if you'll have to get like the shul janitor who's not Jewish to handle some muktzah in order to get you the shofar, that would be allowed because that would be called shvus to shvus, which basically means you're not violating a rabbinic law, you're violating a rabbinic law of a rabbinic law, kind of, that's a way to translate it. It's twice removed. You're not doing the rabbinic thing, and even the non-Jew is doing it and telling him was a rabbinic law, but okay, that much you could do if you're desperate to get the shofar for the shul, which is locked in a muktzah area, which the janitor could go get for you. That would be something that you would be allowed to do to get yourself the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. Lastly, if the shofar is all clogged up with something, you're allowed to pour fluids inside of it to clean it out. That's not considered like tikkun mana, like fixing the vessel. It was fixed before. You just cleaned it out, and cleaning it out is acceptable. So you can do that on Rosh Hashanah if necessary. Thanks for logging on, and log on again after Shabbos for more. Bye-bye.